What up, Raffleators? Welcome back to my channel. It's Friday morning in Guyana, and we're back in South Rhineveld Gardens to take a look at this beauty. This is the 4 Points Hotel by Marriott. 4 Points Hotel and Resort by Marriott. We've been here about 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to take a look at what they have accomplished in the last 2 weeks. The last time we were here, they started working on the exterior of the building, and now it seems as if they have made significant progress painting the exterior and adding windows. So where are we located? We're at the corner of Heroes Highway. That's Heroes Highway looking north towards the traffic circle. Right, that's the traffic circle at Aubrey Barker Road. That's the traffic circle at Aubrey Barker Road. And that's Heroes Highway looking south towards Eccles. It's about 6:30 in the morning. That is Caneview Avenue looking west towards the Demerara River. And on this embankment, these are all the high tension wires bringing power from the power ship out here to South Rhineveld Gardens. Now, what is happening with this property is they're completing the finishing touches. It is a hotel and resort, and it's never looked better, looked closer to completion than it does today. It seems as if they have added windows to this section of the building. So last time we were here, this part of the building was looking like open platforms. Now they've begun to add windows. You can see there are windows on the second floor. My assumption is that windows will go all around, and all that open space will have to be windowed up, closed up. I can also see balconies. So these look like balconies that eventually will have to be railed up, have railings. And on the ground floor, it seems as if they're adding tiles, painted tiles to the ground floor. And last time we were here, we noted the color, so they've added some kind of clay colored brown tiles at intervals, and there seems to be a white paint, flat white paint on the surface at other intervals. Also on the ground floor here, below the what seems to be open halls upstairs, it seems as if there are window openings that have to be closed. So still a whole lot of exterior work to be done. Still a lot of exterior work to be done apparently. But they are slowly making progress here at the hotel, 4 Points Hotel by Sheraton. Alright, so this is the Sheraton 4 Points Hotel and Resort. Morning. And it seems as if they've started to work on the grounds. There seems to be a large hole in the ground at this point. Maybe they're going to start working on the fence or some kind of internal, some structure that's halfway in the ground. There's a huge foundation being built. You're going to have to wait to see what that turns out to be. In the distance, it seems as if there is an entrance to an auditorium or some kind of convention center. So that big square building in the back seems to be some kind of convention center. It's being built. We've actually seen it from Caneview Avenue. There's a whole lot of vegetation that's covering, blocking our view. But this is what's happening here at this is what's happening here at Heroes Highway, next door to that 4 Points by Sheraton. There's Sheriff International Mall. Doesn't seem to be a lot of progress, and we're not surprised given all the drama that's happening with the owner of the Sheriff Group. That's a discussion for another day. So Sheriff is building their mall at this location. It seems as if they added something in the back. Oh no, I think it might be information deflated. So this is Sheriff Mall. What's jutting out seems to be a separate structure. There seems to be a separate structure at the back of this building. Don't know how many floors it will eventually have. We're gonna wait and see. Can't get another view. Can't get another view. We can now see the south facing. So what we're looking at, this is the western end of the building, the western end of 4 Points Hotel. But you can also see a bit of the south facing side of the building. They've added some windows. Still a whole lot more windows to be added, but also you can see there is a space between these two sections of the building. I assume that there's going to be some kind of a pool, a swimming pool, in the space between these two sections of the building. It's not possible to see, but there is space there. There is a gap between this west and the east end of the building, right? The building has kind of a C shape, and I assume there's going to be a pool there, but I have to wait and see what they do with it in the end. For those of you who've been following the news in Guyana, know about the pool incident in which a child drowned in a pool on the west coast, a hotel on the west coast of Demerara. 2 days ago, the body was found yesterday, a day later, and there's a whole lot of questions to be answered and a lot of confusion about what happened. But like I always say on this channel, we don't have any safety protocols, and this is what happens. The accidents on the road, accidents, in this case drowning in a pool, are all because we are a country without safety protocols. And I hope at some point somebody would realize this and start to make some decisions to adopt international standards and protocols in the way we run the country. But here, this is behind the sheriff, the housing ministry. This building is the Guyana Water Authority headquarters, and of course the building in front of it is the Housing Authority headquarters. So Housing and Water, Ministry of Housing and Water are a combined ministry in Guyana that looks at, manages residential housing and potable water. And these are now being combined into consolidated into these two buildings. The building is, of course, under construction by the Sheriff group of companies. As you can see, they've now added steel studs, a steel frame to the west face of the building. So that's new, which tells me they're probably gonna bolt on some kind of tile facade or glass facades, one of the more recent ways of constructing buildings in Guyana. This is actually quite recent, as a company that produces these steel stud frames here in a warehouse, and it seems as if they're implementing that building material or that building method for this building. In the back, like I said, these two buildings are being constructed by Sheriff contractors for the government of Guyana. So that's another contract that the government has given to Sheriff Group, which is part of the controversy that is brewing in the background, where the owners of Sheriff Group have managed to acquire a significant share of government spending, taxpayer money, taxpayer dollars, for their company in their various endeavors of the Sheriff Group. In this case, the construction. A lot of the government construction is being done by Sheriff Group. A lot of the government security is being provided by Sheriff Guard Service. They have a security service arm, and they're building a hospital or a number of hospitals and so on. So that is part of the controversy, because it seems as if these contracts that the Sheriff Group is executing are political in nature. In other words, a lot of government money, a lot of taxpayers' money is being diverted to the Sheriff Group, and that's actually receiving a lot of scrutiny presently by the local Guyanese community. That is, people who are not involved in the ruling political party. But this is the south-facing end of that hotel, the 4 Points by Sheraton. As you can see, the windows have been installed on the south end, and it's now being hidden. It's all being hidden by that Sheriff Mall in front. That does seem as if they're making progress. They're making progress here on the Sheraton. They're also making progress here on the headquarters for Guyana Housing Authority. And I think it's probably a matter of months before this building is closed and we can begin to see its final form. But that's the progress here, guys. This is Heroes Highway. It's now approaching 7. Right, it's after 6, between 6 and 7 in the morning. This is traffic before rush hour arrives. On the other side of Heroes Highway, that is west of Heroes Highway, there's still a whole lot of construction going on. A lot of land preparation. Warehouses being constructed. So in the distance, that's west of Heroes Highway. That's a new warehouse building being constructed on one plot of land. This is another warehouse building. This one's been under construction for almost a year now. Right, there are 2 warehouse buildings on David Rose Street. So that's David Rose Street. And then there's this new warehouse at the corner of the road to Macdoom and Heroes Highway. And of course, a completed warehouse east on the east side of this Heroes Highway. Huge warehouse. That one was constructed. Seems as if it's completed. Constructed about a year ago. Completed maybe 6 months ago now. And probably in operation. So we actually looked at this piece of land that's now covered in vegetation. We saw it when it was cleared and covered with white sand. Now the vegetation has grown up, but they've also completed that warehouse in the distance since then. There's still a whole lot more construction going on here along Heroes Highway. And you can see more of it as you progress north. What we're doing today is going back to look at the entrance ramps. They're building that entrance ramp to the bridge at Providence. And this is my view on the way to Providence, on the way to seeing these construction works of the entrance ramp, access road to the bridge. But this is what's happening here in Houston. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. This is an update on construction works along Heroes Highway. And it seems as if there is progress being made, significant progress being made. And very soon we'll be able to see completed the completion of these various warehouse buildings. And government buildings here on Heroes Highway. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing economy in the world, Guyana. Later!